Hello, this is Crypto CJ. Welcome to today's trade of the day. It's the Monday night Zoom edition. Got a lot of regulars, a few new people. Bitcoin and Ethereum have hit all-time highs today. So very exciting day. Let's go to the charts. We'll start with Bitcoin. Okay. And please tell me you can see my Bitcoin chart.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
4 out. Oh shoot, that's the wrong one. Let's do this one. Yeah. All right. So 4-hour chart, as you can see,
wow.
I had the all-time high from October 20th marked, and UTC time just ended for November 8th. So this is this is locked as a closing candle above the all-time high. So I'm very curious to see if we hold this and then keep shooting up. Or do we drop down to this trend line that's been pretty consistent for about 3 weeks now? A couple dips below briefly and then bounces right back up. There's been a lot of news on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those of you in TradingView, I'm going to go to the news right here, this button. There's a little FUD here from the Bank of Canada, but what did I want to? Yeah, this one's interesting here. Bitcoin enters top 8 of worldwide assets, outpaces Tesla. You guys can read that at your convenience if you want. Zimbabwe is adopting, Bitcoin as legal tender, much like El Salvador did. We've got ARK Invest and JP Morgan bullish on Ethereum more than Bitcoin, but still these crusty old organizations are discussing this is news in and of itself. So very exciting. This one's cool. 3 trillion market cap for the whole space. It's tripled in, I think it's a year, maybe less. Crazy stuff. So again, as a day trader, I'm not as plugged into the news as a lot of others are who do swing trading and hodling, but I try to check it out just before I go through my usual routine to choose some trades. Getting some background noise. And I think I got it. All right. So that's all I really have on Bitcoin. I'm looking forward to either keep pumping or return to this trend line, which would be at this point in the low 60s. It looks like we have pretty good support, 58 to 60-ish. Yeah, we haven't been back there this month. So we've been above 60 the whole month of November, which, is only about 8 days at this point, but still pretty cool. All right. Gonna take a quick look at Ethereum and then we'll go over to Altcoin Alert. Let's go to the 4-hour. And similar situation. This is the closing candle on the 4-hour, and we're above 4,800, all-time high for Ethereum. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, yes, I still have that Ethereum short. I'm 7 positions into it now, and I'm single-handedly propping up the market due to my adverse trade superpower.
Wow.
For those of you who are new, whenever I buy a short in Bitcoin or Ethereum, it shoots up. So it goes against me. Usually it's just a joke and I sell it for a small loss, but this one I decided to keep and try to go the distance on my ladder buying technique. I'm way beyond reason at this point, but fortunately it's not that much money. So anyway, but I digress. Ethereum. So I drew this trend line. I tweaked it a little bit for our time here today, but it's been following it, this white line, pretty nicely since September 30th, just trending up, mostly higher highs and higher lows on Ethereum. And you can look at the news on Ethereum like I just did with Bitcoin, but it's going to be pretty similar. So anyway, everything's going up. Wouldn't surprise me if we had a correction tomorrow and or the next day. They don't usually go straight up, like this. That's what we usually see with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most of the altcoins are affected by these, so you shouldn't take any trade in any altcoin until you have a general or pretty good idea of what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing. All right, any questions on the overall market before we go to Altcoin Alert?
Yes, I have one.
All right.
How can you find out what percentage of the global monetary system Bitcoin occupies?
Probably, let's see what group put that article out. Might have to go back to Bitcoin to find it. I don't know off the top of my head. I just saw this headline, and
No problem.
Benzinga, CoinMarketCap. There are a lot of information sources out there. Look at all the stuff I've bookmarked, and some of these are, information sources. That wasn't very useful.
If you find it there, just send me a link.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
If you go back to Ethereum on a 4-hour cycle,
okay,
it looks like there's a recurring pattern of 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, I agree.
Over and over.
Yeah, I mean, we hit a little dip here on October 13th. Then we're up here on the 16th and down again, through the 18th and up again, a couple days later. So 2 to 3 days seems to be, the higher highs and the higher lows. So
I would wait a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it up here. I mean, I'm definitely not as a day trade, and probably not as a swing or a hodl either. So again, a little outside the scope of what I'm talking about today, but if you're a swing trader, I'd probably wait, in the low 4s. But anyway, all right, let's go to Altcoin Alert. So quite a few very bullish. I'm going to refresh, reload, just to make sure I'm current. And for those of you who are new, I turn easy mode off. I want all the information. So the best view for that is to be on Altcoin Radar. This one here, the second column here on the very top, then turn easy mode off and you'll get all this information. I've got the AA score over here on the right. I can sort by that. I can look for what's what's at the top. When clicked one time too many. What's at the very bottom? I look at this occasionally when I'm looking for something to short, but we're focused on spot trading more in this particular show. So the first one's NKN, which has a little place in my heart. This was the first altcoin I ever traded in November 3rd of 2019. So today it's very bullish and some pretty good values here as well. I like this. If you can get 5% or higher on the upper under 1 hour project range, that can be an indication of something's going to move pretty soon. We're down 10% today though. So you're getting a score like this because Altcoin Alert thinks this coin's going to come back. Given the current circumstances, has a 90% chance to go 3% or higher the next 3 days. That's how we view potential profit on Altcoin Alert. So let's look at the chart. I just happen to have it handy here. Got the Coinbase up. We're going to look at the day chart here. I've got that already. We had a big pump up in April, lost most of it. Had a pretty decent pump yesterday and then dropped again. Get a better short-term view here of the 1 hour. And we had a pump up here to 74 cents, just yesterday. So I'm looking for these kind of moves to see where my retrace potential is. It's my favorite way to trade. I want to buy it and say a low or medium area and have it retrace back to where it was. As Bryce from CryptNation says, you guys have heard it a million times, price has memory. So now we're going to the 5-minute chart and look for a specific entry. My favorite strategy is the 1, 2, 3 dip. And then those of you who are on my email list should have received a link to that strategy to check it out. I often scroll back to show an example of one if I can see it. I'm not really seeing one here. So got a few other options if we don't have a dip waiting for us. We can look at the short-term support. There's multiple touches here on the bottom of this Bollinger Band, right around 58 cents, 58.4. So this could be a potential entry point. Or if you think it's going to pump, see a couple of green candles above the this we call the SMA line. This is in between the two Bollinger Bands. Catch this on a couple of green candles going up. You might be able to get, say, 1 to 2%. Not a great trade. Probably not a real good risk reward for being this high in the Bollinger Band. So that's not something I would want to do, but I would be interested in putting a low buy order or an alert right down here around 0.584. You get about 3% to the SMA line. Actually, that would curve down if the candles came down. So you probably catch it around here, 2 to 3%. Or if you want to go back to the recent high, this is obviously riskier, but you're over 6% here from around noon today, Pacific time. Is that, if you use that as a retrace. So those are the options I see on NKN. I find when I look at a AA score, it tends to go down anyway as soon as it hits that 80 or 90 area. So another tip you guys might want to keep in mind is, even if you want to buy it, let's say you're in this area here and it's really close, just put a little low buy order in there. There's a couple advantages of this. My favorite is you get a limit order, and limit orders are less in fees than market orders are, and then plus you get the desirable price point. So I've used that in my leverage trading, and I've also been using it more in my spot trading. So the downside is you'll miss a few. I missed one today on Luna. It did a dead cat bounce. It just let's show it to you real quick. Yeah, I wanted to catch it here. I saw this dip down to 53 and start to go back up. I thought it might come down again, so I put in a low buy order at 53. Never came back, just shot up. So that's where it doesn't work out. But most of the time, you're going to get more than one dip. It doesn't do this V shape very often, and it still might come down. I already canceled the order, but if it comes down here, I might be interested in catching Luna. Get a couple percent, 2 to 3% back up to the SMA line. And getting 1, 2, 3% per trade doesn't sound, like you're going to be a millionaire anytime soon, but the power of compounding is real. And if you pile up these trades, 2, 3, 4, 5 a day, every other day or so, your balance can grow pretty quickly. All right. So that's NKN. Any questions on that before I move to another coin? All right, thought the new people might want to chime in, but perhaps they're shy. All right, let's see what else we have here. ENJ, 88.2, pretty good score. And most everything else is negative, which again, we would expect. We do have a bullish on the daily Elder Impulse, so that's encouraging. But just about everything else is negative. So that's okay, because we think if the score this high, AA is telling us this one's due to come back. So let's check it out, ENJ. And this one should be on my list. Yeah. All right, we'll go to the day chart, get the big picture. Had considerable movement from this coin. I've seen it, haven't traded it once or twice, but the past few weeks. It's up to 363 yesterday or day before, and then dipped down to 320. So we do have some retrace potential. And we were as high as 360 again a couple days ago on the 5-minute. Yeah, I'm looking for where can we retrace to 323, which isn't great. Right at the SMA line. I don't like to trade. This is limbo in my mind. So I want to see. A lot of traders use the SMA line as resistance, as an exit point. So I don't like to trade there. If it bounces off, I'm not really seeing a good example of that, but you know, it's pumping up above it right now. You can catch a trend to trade. It's less than 1% though. I don't know. Do have some short-term support down here around 313. See a couple touches here, a few more here. Didn't quite make it on this dip sequence. It's pumping now, but if you wanted to trade ENJ, I would want to catch it down here. Probably won't happen today, but could happen tomorrow. You get 2% up to the SMA line, then almost 3% towards the top of the Bollinger Band. Again, I think there are better options than this, but has potential. All right, any questions on ENJ before I move on? All right, let's look at. Okay, I didn't look at Lena because I know it's on exchanges I don't trade on. Actually, I like a lot. It's at 84.1. I'm usually prefer 85 or higher, but this one's close enough. Pretty similar values to ENJ. But let's check it out. Axie. Whoa, ENJ pumped. But see, there's no fundamentals behind this. You don't know this is going to happen. So if this happens out of nowhere, you know, a whale decides to buy a bunch, you know, there's nothing we can do, nothing AA can do to anticipate that. Axie, that's where I was. Okay, on the day, we're pushing the all-time high here. Broke through the end of the month. Actually, I just need to update this. Okay. Looks like some resistance here around 162, 163. The 5-minute. Here's the dips, not really a sequence. 1, 2, don't really get a third dip. Sometimes actually frequently in a bull market, you won't get that third dip. So what we'll do in that situation is we'll get 2 dips, then we'll go down here to our MACD, wait for that to cross. Look at some of our other indicators. I've got the money factor index here. It's pointing up. The RSI is pointing up. The MACD's cross. So this would have been a good entry right in this vicinity. You know, up to the SMA line, not quite 1%. I probably want to hold on a little longer than that. Probably get out right about here. This resistance close to the SMA line around 1.7%. Actually, something I trade on leverage a lot. So, you know, if I get 1% with 10x leverage, yeah, that's good stuff. As far as the spot trade, getting 1% when we're at or near an all-time high, it's probably something I'd be less interested in. All right, I'm going to show you one. I'm going to deviate off the norm here a little bit, because I know some of you guys have been frustrated that you buy an AA coin and then it goes against you right away. So I'm going to show you what I do in that situation. I've talked a little bit about ladder buying, where you buy another position when it goes against you. I bought Mana on a high, I think it was a 100 score off AA a couple days ago. Yeah, on the 6th for 285. Yeah, it was right around. Yeah, it's right around here somewhere, 285. Then it went down. Just double click this. Then it went down. I put an alert 6% below 285. So it's around 260, 267. So I picked up a second position at 267 just before this call hit. So now I've got two positions. I got one at 285, one at 267. So my goal is to get back to combine these two into one order, get back to 285. That'll give me about an 8% profit for the whole thing. So what happens in that scenario is my first position breaks even, my second position makes a really nice profit, and combined, they average out to about 4%. That's a good day trade. Probably take 2 to 3 days. So that's sort of I'm not cavalier about it. You want to do the best you can to get the best entry so you don't have to ladder buy. But ladder buying is really good for, especially in a bull market. It has its drawbacks and, a sideways or a bear market, but you see how things are pumping. If something, pulls back or, retraces briefly, those are often good entry points. If that happens while you're in something, just buy another position. And, if you want to do the strategy, consistently, you need to manage your money accordingly. So you can't go all in on, a high AA score. You should go in, not financial advice, but probably no more than 10%. For me, it's usually around 5 to 10% is what I put into my trades. I try to keep some cash behind to buy another position if I need to. All right, I've got multiple videos on this technique. So if you don't quite follow it from what I said, do a search through on YouTube for Crypto CJ ladder buying, or email me and I'll send you Patrick's spreadsheet. He lists all my videos. Super cool thing for him to do. And then you can find it that way. So chat question. Good question. Patrick's asking, was the second buy the same amount as the first or twice as much? It's usually the same dollar amount. So since the price is lower, I get more coins. So on Mana, I have 35 coins on my first and 37.5 on my second. So, all right, let's do a sort on Altcoin Alert, and then we'll move over to iCoinPro. All right, so you don't just have to do the AA scores. If there are other sorts we like to do, you can sort by trading activity, what's hot right now. You can sort by social activity, what's the word on the street? What are they talking about on Twitter? If you want to do something really short, you can sort by the 1 hour projected range. I've dabbled with this a few times, but haven't done it very often. We have the Elder Impulse hourly and daily that are technical indicators, and then long-term sentiment. Again, it's Twitter information. So if you sort by social activity, John in our group likes to do this. Another sort by Elder Impulse. Alan likes to do this one. Let's go with social activity. And it often brings up these values here, very bullish and bullish. This situation, we're less concerned about the AA score. We're trying to catch a trend. So we're not looking necessarily for something to come back. We're trying to catch something that's already moving. And so I want a neutral or better on the AA score, about the same on these two. I've already got bullish on the Elder Impulse and very bullish on the long-term sentiment. We're up 8%. So that's a good move, but not, not necessarily played out. It's not 40 or 50%. That's probably too late. Let's check out AVAX. See if we can find a trade on this. All right, look at the day chart, get the big picture. We're at an all-time high. So it's over $90 for the first time. Yeah. Yeah, hit 95 and it's down to 91. I'm not real comfortable with this, but if you're more of a trend trader, you got 4 straight green candles. It's not bad. Maybe you can catch a retrace here to 94.17. That's 3%. Some pretty clear resistance here at 96.50. That's 5.7%. So I'm not real comfortable trading near all-time highs, but a lot of people like to try to ride the trend. So if you want to do that, I would suggest you go in at half your usual and keep some behind for an additional purchase, like I just described in Mana. So any questions on AVAX? All right, let's move over to iCoinPro. Now, the reason I combine iCoinPro with this Altcoin Alert is iCoinPro is a different information source, and it teaches a specific strategy, a very conservative day trading strategy. So I like this as an introduction to day trading because it's very new to many people. Most people get into crypto and just hold for a while, or maybe try to do some trading. But I learned crypto off a very similar strategy to this. I learned this one and another one concurrently, and very conservative day trading strategy. It's 1% a day is what they're trying to do, and that's how you can build your balance. So, and there's a couple tools I like to use that are available on iCoinPro. This is a source of the 1, 2, 3 dip training. They call it squeeze bubble 1, 2, 3 money, which I think is too long, so I shortened it. Or actually, maybe my mentor shortened it to 1, 2, 3 dip. So this is the RSI SPY. Let me show you the RSI. This is the RSI right here. The one I have has a divergence alert. That's beyond the scope of the show. We'll maybe talk about that in a while, some other show in the future. But RSI is the relative strength indicator or index. And when it's combines momentum and some other indicators, and when it's high 70 or above, that usually means it's overbought. That means too many people have bought it. It's probably due to come down, generally speaking. And when it's below 30, it's usually oversold. It means too many people have dumped it. It's due for a comeback. So one of my favorite sorts on iCoinPro is the RSI SPY. If I see values of 30 below on the 1 hour, what I was showing you is the 5-minute. And especially if it's on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, then those are often due to come back. Now we've only got those on Bitcoin pairs today. I don't trade those very often. So I'm not seeing anything here that's really going to help us on the RSI SPY. But I just wanted to be aware of it in case any of you guys are new to iCoinPro. Okay, the other sort I like to use is Buddy Coin Crawler. The theory here is you look at this, you pick out 3 or 4 coins to track throughout the day and instead of trying to track all of them. And we're going to choose those coins based on this sort, average low to SMA. The average low is a 24-hour low of the coin. The SMA line's that pink line I showed you between the Bollinger Bands on my charts. So I'm looking for 5% or better. This one's really good. Well, at 11.22%. Looking for volume of 10 million or more. You don't want to trade something that has low volume. This says 0 here. I'm not sure why, because I looked at this chart and it had, looked like a regular chart to me. Anyway, it's got a drop-down menu. It'll bring up a trading view chart. I did that already. So let's look at IOTX. Big giant pump last few days, really out of nowhere. I tried to figure out why this happened. I vaguely recall some news about this, but I can't quite remember it. Didn't have time to look it up. So a big giant pump from November 2nd, pretty big drop today. So could have retrace potential. Yeah, so it's short-term resistance here, right around 50 cents. It's down to 31 cents now. So kind of like that. Almost in a dip sequence. It's starting to bubble out now. We got a drop here. So I count this as a one dip. We can get 2 and 3. Say catch it down here. You know, that can't be right. All right, let's look at a different chart. Let's look at the USD chart. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. So this one is trending down on the USD Coinbase chart. It's not much of a bubble. I want to see a squeeze in a bubble here. That usually indicates more volume, more momentum. This one's just kind of dragging down. Scenarios like this can just keep dragging down. So that's a bit discouraging. Yeah, this one just seems to be trending down hard. Let's look at the hour. Yeah, I don't like it. If it were bubbling up higher like this, you know, more pronounced, then, you know, we could have a beginning of a dip sequence right about here. Even that's not pronounced enough. So I'm gonna quit trying to make a trade out of this. It's just not there. If you want to catch them, you can maybe put an alert down here around 15 cents and reevaluate. And don't be afraid to use your alerts. I think the free account has 1, or is it 10? I don't recall. I've got the Pro Plus account, which is somewhere in the middle. I got 30 or 40 alerts, but you know, right click if you want to put an alert down here, add alert. You know, I like round numbers, so dip. You can name it and it'll remember what you put there before. So create, and then that'll show up. And over here is your alerts list. And there it is. So all right, we'll look at one more on iCoinPro. And then I'll probably throw it open to questions. These are Krill is new. Brain Trust is fairly new. LCX I saw mentioned on the Slack group today. We'll look at that one. LCX. Well, that volume's not very good though. It's only 300,000. I've recently moved over from Binance, so I'm used to USDT in my trades. So I still left some Binance charts on here since I've marked those up over the past couple of years. Let's look at the track I traded. Yeah, let's look at this one, Krill. I'll get out of that. All right, 34 million is pretty good volume. And the chart's being a little pokey. Oh, that just took me to my Coinbase page. That's not what I wanted. I want trading view. All right. Just got listed. So, you know, our day view is not very good. We might go to a different exchange. We can't get the information we want. And I've seen this a lot. I've traded this twice this week. and once or twice last week. We get these, those of you who've been in Altcoin Alert for a year or no, year or longer, you probably know what I'm talking about. You get the alert you get the significant development alert on your Slack group, and you see it pump up and you think, oh, I'm too late. What's happening lately is they pump up, they drop again. I've been catching them down here and then getting out with 5 or 10% on the second pump. So a lot of these are having second pumps lately. Something to be aware of with your significant developments.
On the SIG devs, is it only when they get announced on the like more mainstream exchanges when we can probably go a little stronger in a buy with that?
No, they are, I mean, yes and no. The alert will come on pretty much any exchange. The two I want you to focus on that we all focus on are the Coinbase Pro and the Binance, not Binance US. So those two exchanges, when they have new listings, those move the market. Some smaller exchanges like KuCoin and maybe even FTX will move it some, but I don't really trade those. I look for Coinbase Pro and Binance, and I'm seeing this pattern more and more: pump, drop, second pump. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. I had one of these over the weekend. It worked out pretty well. Got out of it this morning. So.
And with those, you got to move really fast, right? As soon as you see that SIG dev, you have like minutes to get it that first wave. Usually, is that
if you're trying to catch this,
yeah? Okay.
And what I'm saying is you're not going to catch this very often. That hasn't been my experience. I've had times where I've been sitting here at my computer, and I because the insiders get it first. I mean, there's nothing Altcoin Alert can do about that, or the TIE, which is the data source. Sometimes they'll go up 20% and they keep going, but at this point you're gambling, I think. If you get in, if you say the alert comes in here at 1 p.m. exactly, and it goes up another 20 or 30%, that's great, but it can also drop that much. But with the, long as we're in a bear market, we're getting these second pumps, buying it up here isn't the end of the world. You can do another buy down here and then ride it back. Now you've got a break even and another one going up 40%, between the two, it's 20%. That's a great day trade. It's more than a day. It's 3 days, 3 or 4 days, but ends up being a swing trade, but still, it's overall still a risky thing to do, but I've just noticed this trend and I want to share it with you guys. So.
Well, I definitely have noticed, being new to this, the first pump, yes, it's like within minutes, like you said, a lot of times I catch it, it's already done, but I haven't paid attention enough to catch the second wave. So that's kind of cool to see that you're noticing a second opportunity when you have a Binance and Coinbase Pro listing. So.
Yeah, let me show you. The mover was the other one. That's the one I did this weekend. And it was listed on, I bought it on KuCoin. And the listing came out, I think, on Friday night. So I think it did this. Came down. Then it went up again. Yeah, I put a low buy order in at 399 and it picked it up. Yeah, I actually messed this up a little bit because I didn't know it because I didn't check right away. I was busy with some other stuff. So I missed. Had I known that, I would have gotten out up here. I ended up getting out. I got 5%. That's a good day trade. So I'm not going to complain about it too much, but
right.
If you do put a low buy order in, make sure you note it somewhere and check it. A low buy order when you're asleep is a little bit risky, but we talk about it all the time. If it's 4 in the morning and your order fills, then that works out pretty well. But of course it can keep dropping down and then you're catching a falling knife. That's not so good. So just be sure that risk going in when you do a low buy order overnight.
Absolutely,
all right.
Absolutely.
Chat question. Okay.
CJ, I got a question.
Okay.
Like, what are the main takeaways when you compare a coin within the different time frames, like for 1 day, and then you move to the 5 minutes chart and then 1 hour?
Yeah, good question. And sorry if I wasn't clear. Let's look on a more established coin. We'll go to AVAX. So on the day chart, that's not a good example. Let's look at something that's not at an all-time high. Everything's at all-time high. All right, just about. All right, look, AVAX. So I'm looking for retraces because price has memory. So I'm looking for something that's dropped, that's shown me already that it can go where I want it to go. So on the day chart, it gives me the overall picture, you know, the back several months. So for a lot of coins pumped up like crazy in April and May and then dumped, and some have not reached those highs yet, but a lot of them have surpassed it, like AVAX. So the day gives me that information. What's the big picture? You know, where can this go to? And then the hour gives me the similar situation, but in a shorter time frame. So I know in the last hour on the hour chart, as early as 8 o'clock this morning, my time, this was at $96. Now it's at 90. So that's like a 5 or 6% drop off the top of my head. And now the 5-minute chart, this is my entry. This is where, you know, and I like it if on the 5-minute chart, if I can see where it's been before, you know, I talk about, you know, here's short-term resistance, and that's what I mean. You know, I'm talking about, you know, these guys right here. You know, there's multiple touches here on this line, this invisible line that I just drew. And then, you know, for support, you know, there's, you know, multiple touches right around here. So this is our trading range in the 5-minute chart. So if I can catch this down here on this line, you know, it's got retrace potential to this line, which is just under 8%. That's pretty good. But obviously the longer I hold it, the riskier it is. So if I catch it down here and go to, you know, the top of the Bollinger Band, 2.4%, that's not bad. And then I start to look for other places this coin has been recently. And I see it's been here. I'm looking for multiple touches, not just like, you know, this one's just, it's just, you know, kind of cruising on down. It doesn't really help me. But here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 touches. You know, the price is going to remember that when it's time to go back up. It'll probably hit some resistance there at 5%. I like 5%. I can make a living with doing 5%. So, and then obviously I've got this one marked here. So that was kind of a wordy explanation. Did that help you out, Jahan?
Yes, totally. Thank you.
Okay. All right, 4 messages in the chat. All right, Dean wants to talk about KDA. Patrick saying a 1, 2, 3 dip at the end. No, it's not. Just okay. Excellent question. Andre's asking, are you using the standard trading view inputs for the Bollinger Band? I am not. Go to the Bollinger Band here, click the gear. The default is 20, mine are 50. And this is a teaching of iCoinPro. That's a more conservative, longer, actually the more information you have, the better it is. So I do a 50 period Bollinger Band instead of a 20. All right. And I do have a video about how I set up my charts. So if you want to search through, you know, Crypto CJ chart setup or Trading View or something like that, it should come up. Or we can get Patrick's list too if you want to find it that way. KDA. So I think I'm done with Altcoin Alert and iCoinPro. For now, we're at about 45 minutes on the video. So I'll go ahead and look at KDA, and then I'll throw it open to any questions you guys have. So not my list. It's on KuCoin. I like KuCoin a lot. Do most of my spot trading now on KuCoin. All right. Not much going on with this when it was listed back in May. It just went sideways and then
Recently, it just
up.
had the biggest pump I'd ever seen a coin ever do, in my short time in the crypto space.
Yeah, this I'm remembering this now on in the chat in the Slack group.
I mean, it just literally, retracement didn't even exist for this coin this last week.
8 hour.
Oh, Cadena, yeah.
Yeah.
It's news is phenomenal, just whatever, but James with Invest Answers, who is the most conservative dude on the internet when it comes, he's a mathematician that he does not day trade, so it's not for this show, but he just did a thing on it today. He did a deep dive on it. So anyway.
I'll have to check it out. I mean, the fundamentals, not to get too much into that, I know this group's not for that, but the fundamentals are amazing. And so I'm personally extremely bullish on this coin long term. But I attempted to do in my rookie stage a bit of a momentum trade, if you will, yesterday, and I exited still profitable, but significantly less profitable than I was at the peak. And I want to first have CJ kind of look at this coin first and maybe talk about how I could learn from the momentum trade.
Yeah, this one is a little tricky as a day trade. Okay, where did you get in?
I was kind of dollar cost average. Let me pull
Okay.
But my dollar cost averaging ended up being like every 30 minutes because I mean, this coin was just, let me pull it up right now.
Yeah, that's that approach isn't really going to help us for this. That's a valid approach for something that you believe in and you want to accumulate. So I'm not being critical of it, but as a day trade, I want a really good entry point once, ideally, and I ladder if it goes against me. So.
Well, so let me add some information. So the parabolic movement that I saw the coin doing, from a non-day trading standpoint, it's like, wait, this coin has just exploded 200% in 3 days. But I was entering in because of, and I'll tell you exactly when. Let me give you those numbers so you can see what I was looking at actually. That coin.
I'm on the hour chart so we can get a little bigger picture.
Yeah. Yesterday, I go on the hour chart. Let's see.
So let's see, at midnight it was at 20. Yesterday it got as high as 24, dropped down to 17.
Basically, everywhere between when it was at 16 on November 6th in the evening, at 1690, kind of over the next 12-hour period. I guess that's a little bit less of a day trade, but my thought process was still going to be a very quick in and out because I knew that this coin was going to come back down just like it did.
All right, I can work with this because where to get out is a significant issue. Where do you get out? I've showed you guys multiple retraces, but you don't have that here. So on the show, I have showed the Fibonacci extender before, but really it's still speculation. It's just sort of mathematical speculation. I could pull that out, but I don't want to blow everyone's minds at the moment. I've used it before. If you want to do, look up Fibonacci extension.
Yeah, I will definitely.
That's something you can use to help you out in this situation when you're, in price discovery. If I got in something like this at 16, let's just say 17, 17 to 24 is 44%. There's no way I'm waiting that long. I'm out maybe 15 to 20%, which is what I'm looking for in my swing trades. And I would have bought this at around 17 and set a sell order. You know, I don't really have this information though. I probably just under 20. You know, like 1990.
So what would have been your thought process to the exact, that's what I want to know, to enter at 17 and exit at 20? Who cares that you missed 24 because you secured profits? What was your
Exactly.
indicator for that?
Well, to get in at 17, I can't really tell you because.
No, of course.
But
Let's
and the
just say
20 is just a round number, you know, and I mentioned earlier, I like round numbers. Most traders like round numbers. So you look for a round number exit like 20. That's going to be you know, maybe a psychological barrier for some, and just get out a little bit below that. Of course, other traders are probably thinking the same way. So you have to get out a little bit below the little bit below. So maybe get out at,
Yeah.
you know, 1950 or something instead of 1999. So yeah, that's somewhere between 20 and 1950. I would set a sell order and get out with 12% and not care in the slightest that it kept going up. So.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, cool.
But it's helpful to know that before you make the trade.
Yeah.
To know what your
Yes,
goal is.
I learned that. Yeah.
So because if you don't, then you know this is going to pump up and you're going to feel like, oh, I got out too soon. Well, you know, if you hit your goal, you don't think like that.
Right.
So CJ, do you always, or almost always, at least on your day trades, you have your exit strategy planned as you're making your entrance, correct?
Almost always. I have dabbled with trailing stops. It's a little bit beyond the show, but with mixed results. My stop losses tend to be wick magnets. So I think I've said that more than once on here. If I put a stop loss in, the price is going to find it. It's sort of like my my Ethereum and Bitcoin shorts. But
That's so funny you mentioned that,
yeah.
because that's like what what they're there for, to take out the stop losses where everyone puts them.
So instead, if I know I'm going to be near my computer and available, I'll use if I want to do it like that. I'll just use an alert like I showed you earlier. You know, instead of an alert that shows me something negative, it'll be a positive alert. It's like, hey, you're up, you know, 10%. What do you want to do? So in that situation, I'll probably put in a stop loss. I actually have a couple of stop losses in on some swing trades on Coinbase. So they'll probably get knocked out tonight, but you know, there is some value in preserving profit. But like Laura said, 97% of the time, I'm probably putting in a stop or an exit, a sell order as soon as I put in my buy order and it fills. So that's what I like to do. And if it goes beyond, I don't care because I achieve my goal. So, all right, wow, guys, we blasted through almost an hour. Any other questions on Altcoin Alert, iCoinPro, or anything else?
Yeah, 'cause I have a quick question on Altcoin Alert. When you're looking at the trading activity, that's not necessarily positive trading. It's all the trading.
Well,
in other words,
one thing to know about Altcoin Alert generally is these are, you know, the AA score. Don't look at this other stuff. When you're looking at the AA score, these other values are going to be negative.
right.
Frequently. So don't be discouraged by that. When you're looking at other sorts, then you have to take the other information into consideration. Not sure if that answers your question.
High trading activity doesn't necessarily mean the coin's going up. It's just that there's a lot of trades. It could be selling trade, negative trades.
No, trading activity in this scenario means it's gone up a significant percentage, and it'll show you right here. So,
Okay.
you know, something's gone up 600%. It's probably too late, but
Yeah.
loop ring's been absurd. I don't know what's going wrong with that thing, but yeah. So, but now it's showing bearish and bearish because it's gone up so much. So it's got a low AA score. And this KCS is intriguing. It's showing a bullish AA score. And it's up 16%. So you guys might want to check that one out.
Cool.
Start that one. That's the KuCoin governance token. So, well, I think I'm going to stop the recording here. And for those of you on the recording, thank you so much for watching. The rest of you can hang around. I got a little statement, and then I'm going to stay on for some additional information for some specific people. So the rest of you folks, thanks for watching.